filter Satan Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Raj Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. Sri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Gaur Bimalandi. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaur. Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Every day there's a different group of people. It's like rotating groups or something. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter number 19. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 They put the wrong verse on the board. Supposed to put the next verse, not the last one. So this is a problem. We'll have to do this verse and go back to the other verses. Esha te stanam aishvaryam Esate stanam aishvaryam Sriyam tejo yasa shrutam Sriyam tejam yasa shrutam Dasyati Achidya Shakraya Dasyachidya Sakraya Maya Manavako Harihi Maya Manavako Harihi Esate stanam aishvaryam Sriyam tejo yasa shrutam Dasyachidya sakraya Maya manavako harihi Esate stanam aishvaryam Sriyam tejam yasa shrutam Dasyachidya sakraya Anamanavako harihi
Esate stanam aishvaryam Shriyam tejo yasya srutam Dasyachidya sakraya Maya manavako harihi
Esate stanam aishvaryam Sriyam tejo yasa shrutam Dasyachidya sakraya Maya manavako harihi Eshate sthanam aishvaryam Shriyam tejo yasashritam Dasyatya shakraya Mayamana vakohari.
Ladies?
Eshate sthanam aishvaryam
Eshate sthanam aishvaryam
Shriyam tejo yasashritam
Shriyam tejo yasashritam
Dasyate yachitya sakraya
Dasyatya shakraya
Mayamana vakohari.
Mayamana vakohari.
So, we'll go back and read verse number 25 and then come to this verse. Material existence causes discontent in regard to fulfilling one's lusty desires and achieving more and more money. This is the cause for the continuation of material life, which is full of repeated birth and death. The one who is satisfied by that which is attained by destiny is fit for liberation from this material existence. Yadrichat labhyatustaya tejo viprasya vardate tat prasamyatya santosha ambhaksevak susuksanai. A Brahmin who is satisfied with whatever is provisionally obtained is increased and enlightened with spiritual power. But the spiritual potency of a dissatisfied Brahmin decreases as fire diminishes in potency when water is sprinkled upon it. Tasmat trini padadyevaham trinitvam valadasabhat etavaitaiva siddhoham vittam yava prayojanam. Therefore, O King, the Lord is speaking. Therefore, O King, from you, the best of those who give in charity, I ask only 3 paces of land. By such a gift, I shall be very pleased. For the happiness is to be, for the way of happiness is to be fully satisfied to receive that which is absolutely necessary. Sri Sukha Uvacha. Ityukam samhasam aha panchitam pratigriyatam vamanaya mahindatum jagraham jalabhajanam. Sukadeva Goswami continued, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead had thus spoken to Bali Maharaj, Bali smiled and told him, all right, take whatever you like. To confirm his promise to give Vamanadeva the desired land, he then took up his water pot. Vishnave Shamapada Vishnave Shamam Padashyantam Usanam Asuresparam Yanam Chitriksitam Jishno Shishyam Praha Padambaraha. Understanding Lord Vishnu's purpose, Sukracharya, the best of the learned, immediately spoke as follows to his disciple, who was about to offer everything to Lord Vamanadeva. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Devi Subhadra Kolintai Ki Jai. Understanding Lord Vishnu's purpose, Sukracharya, the best of the learned, immediately spoke as follows to his disciple, who was about to offer everything to Lord Vamanadeva. Sri Sukha Uvacha Esha Varochane Saksahan Bhagavan Vishnu Avayaham Kasyapat Abduto Jato Devanam Karya Sadhakata. Sukracharya said, O son of Virochana, this brahmachari in the form of a dwarf is directly the imperishable Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Actually, Kashyapa Muni is his father and Aditi as his mother. Accepting Kashyapa Muni as his father and Aditi as his mother, he has now appeared in order to fulfill the interests of the demigods. Patiksrutam tasyai tasmahe yaranartam ajanata nasadu manye kaityanam maha upagato naya. You do not know what a dangerous position you have accepted by promising him to give him land. I do not think that this promise is good for you. It will bring harm to the demons. Word for word, Esha. This person falsely appearing as a brahmachari. Te, of you, Stanam, the land in possession, Aisvrayam, the riches, Sriyam, the material beauty, Teja, the material power, Yasa, the reputation, Shrutam, the education, Dasyati, will give, Achidyaya, taking from you, Shakraya, unto your enemy, Lord Indra, Maya, falsely appearing, Manavaka, a brahmachari son of a living being. Harihi is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hari. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, H.H. Swami Prabhupada. This person, falsely appearing as a brahmachari, is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who has come in this form to take away all your land, wealth, beauty, power, fame, and education. After taking everything from you, he will deliver to Indra, your enemy. So Sukracharya is warning Bali, you're making this promise, but you don't know who you're promising to. He's the Supreme Lord, and he's going to take everything away and give it to your enemy, the demigods. Purport by His Divine Grace. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in this regard that the word Hari means one who takes away. If one connects himself with Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord takes away all his miseries. And in the beginning, the Lord also superficially appears to take away all his material possessions, reputation, education, and beauty. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:88, Yasyaham aganu namihi harishya tantaram shanai. The Lord said to Maharaj Yudhisthira, the first installment of my mercy towards a devotee is that I take away all his possessions, especially his material opulence, his money. This is the special favor of the Lord towards a sincere devotee. If a sincere devotee wants Krishna above everything, but at the same time is attached to material possessions, which hinder his advancement in Krishna consciousness, by tactics the Lord takes away all his possessions. Here, Sukracharya says that this dwarf brahmachari would take away everything. Thus he indicates that the Lord will take away all of one's material possessions and also one's mind. If one delivers his mind to the lotus feet of Krishna, Savai Mana Krishna Pranada Vindayo, one can actually sacrifice everything to satisfy him. Although Bali Maharaj was a devotee, he was attached to material possessions, and therefore the Lord, being very kind to him, showed him special favor by appearing as Lord Vamanadev to take away all his material possessions and his mind as well. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manam Vistam Statikam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Swam Padatikam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Sri Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Lord is known as Hari. Prabhupada uses that word many times in his talks to explain Hari means one who takes away everything, or one who takes away. Here, two things are mentioned. One is that the Lord takes away all of one's miseries. We try to take away our own miseries, but it doesn't work. They still are there somehow. But Krishna's competent to do that. He knows how to do it. But in order to take away your misery, he has to take away your mind first. So by giving your mind to Krishna, then your miseries go also. Here it also mentions that the Lord also takes away material things, such as education, wealth, possessions, even beauty. Things that are, what we say, sought after by the materialists as the goal in life. And the Lord takes all these away. But why does he take it away? It's not that he needs it. It's not that he's short on these things, and therefore he's trying to collect as much as he could get to increase his stockpile of these opulences. No, the Lord does that as a special favor to his devotee. Prabhupada quotes this verse, Yasyaham anugranami harisye tanam sanai. When Prabhupada was in India, still preparing for his mission to come here, he was watching how Krishna was taking away everything. And although Prabhupada is, a Mahapurush, a great soul, playing the part of a conditioned soul, it appeared that he was becoming quite unhappy with Krishna's plan, taking away everything. And at one point, he used to quote this verse quite regularly, saying that the Lord, it's in the 10th canto, 88th chapter, the very end of the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto, that there's two types of mercy the Lord has. One is that he gives you everything, and one he takes away everything. If he favors you, he gives you everything. And if he really favors you, he takes everything away. So, both are his favors, but one is more favorable than the other. Of course, whatever the Lord does is good. And he does it in order to increase what? The devotee's real self-interest, which is to open up our loving relationship with the Lord. To have material things, we see throughout scriptures, we read about great souls. Many of them were quite wealthy. Pundarik Vidyanidhi was a prime example of such wealth. Lord Chaitanya sent Gadadhar Pandit along with Mukunda to visit Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi was older. He had come to Navadvip. Lord Chaitanya used to refer to him as father. He would refer to him as father. Now Pundarik Vidyanidhi was very hard to understand because he liked, or apparently it seemed like he was attached to material opulence. He had such wealth, and he had such opulence. He lived in a very nice place, and he would dress very luxuriously, almost beyond even the normal materialists on how they dress, with nice, expensive clothes. He would have his hair fixed nicely with nice scented, perfumes coming from his hair. And so many nice arrangements. He had a beautiful bedroom with a very nice bed, foam, covers, columns, beautiful water pots, and so much nice decoration. And he had personal servants too. But he was a devotee. So, Lord Chaitanya sent Mukunda and Gadadhar Pandit. He wanted to teach Gadadhar Pandit some message. He said, Mukunda, you take Gadadhar to meet Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi received them so nicely. Now Gadadhar Pandit, now he's one of the Panchatattvas. He's an incarnation of Srimati Radharani with the energy of Lalita Saki. He's not an ordinary person. He's looking at Pundarik Vidyanidhi like, who is this person? He looks like just like some gross materialist, so attached to material opulence. He's a great devotee. Lord Chaitanya sent me to meet this person. I don't know. Mukunda, he understood the mind of Gadadhar, how he was feeling a little restless. So he chanted one verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Aho pakiyam stanakala kutam jigyas yavyavyat vadara sarve. Can't remember the whole verse. But the verse is actually a glorification of Krishna killing Putana witch. How merciful is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? This witch, who was a real dangerous Rakshashi, she came to kill him, but he treated her like his mother, destroyed her by sucking out her life, but gave her opulence or liberation on the same level as his mother. How merciful! Who could be more merciful? Mukunda chanted that verse. When Pundarik Vidyanidhi heard that verse, he went mad, literally mad. He started to go into ecstasy. He started to cry. He was rolling on the ground, and he was just calling out, how merciful is Krishna. He was overwhelmed with emotion. He couldn't control himself, and it was becoming actually quite, what we say, difficult. Mukunda was watching and smiling. Gadadhar was amazed. His servants tried to hold him down in his ecstasy. They came, couldn't do anything. They were flying in different directions. And for 6 solid hours, he went into this ecstasy, thinking about how merciful Krishna is. Who could be more kind? Hearing that verse and how Krishna showed such mercy to this Rakshashi. Finally, at the end of 6 hours, what he did was he was ripping his clothes, he was throwing things around the room, and his ecstasy was uncontrolled. Destroyed everything practically in the whole room. Gadadhar Pandit was thinking, boy, did I make a mistake. This person's a great soul. So finally, Pundarik calmed down, and he became a little embarrassed, realizing what had happened, not knowing his own ecstasies. He was completely oblivious to what happened. And then Gadadhar Pandit, feeling somewhat ashamed, but at the same time quite happy to see such ecstasy, he said to Mukunda, I think I would like to take initiation from you. So Mukunda said that to Pundarik. He said, Gadadhar wants to become your disciple. Pundarik said, oh, how fortunate it is that a person can have such a disciple as Gadadhar Pandit. So he accepted him. But who is Pundarik Vidyanidhi? He's actually King Vrishabhanu. He was actually Radharani's father, who has come again as this great personality named Pundarik Vidyanidhi. He was a king in his previous life, so there was some, what we say, connection with opulences. And Gadadhar Pandit was Radharani, so father and daughter got reunited as disciple of Guru. And Lord Chaitanya heard that. He was so pleased. He was really, really pleased. So here's an example of a personality who is a great devotee, but it has so much material opulence. But then you have Kolovich Sridhar. It was the opposite. He had nothing. In fact, all he had was a house with holes in it. It was an old tin shack that he threw together with pieces of corrugated tin and wood that he would find on the ground and get some cardboard, and that was his house. His clothes, it says that he had more holes than clothes. He would take the holes and tie them together. I guess nowadays the hippies, they have these clothes with, big holes in the knees, and that's cool. I guess they're trying to imitate, it's called the Versha Srimad. But he had nothing. And how he would live? He would sell banana leaves, banana cups, banana plates, and everything connected to the banana tree. And he would sell it for a few pice. And he would use half the money that he collected to worship Mother Ganga. He would give it in charity for Ganga worship. And the other half, he would somehow live, which was hardly anything. So Lord Chaitanya would come every day and say, "Hey, Sridhar, how much are those banana cups, banana leaves?" And he would quote a price. And Lord Chaitanya would say, "Too much. You're cheating the Brahmins." No, actually, this is the best price. You can go anywhere, just see. No, I know your program. You have a great amount of wealth, and you're just trying to get more. And someday I'm going to show the world that wealth you have, expose it. So Lord Chaitanya would tease him. And then they would go back and forth, they'd haggle over the price. And finally Lord Chaitanya said, "I'm not going to pay you anything. You just take it and walk away." And Sridhar would just say, "Oh, well, he's a Brahmana, what can I do?" But he was so much enchanted by Lord Chaitanya's beauty that, when Lord Chaitanya did that, of course they would argue, but he would eventually surrender to Lord Chaitanya. So this went on for so long, and of course later on Lord Chaitanya revealed his wealth, which was pure bhakti. But he had nothing. He had his only possession in his whole house was one broken down water pot that was full of holes and dented. Vrindavan Das Thakur, describing this pastime, says that water pot was so, even the most desperate thief would not steal it. Nobody wanted it. And Lord Chaitanya would come into his place, and he would pick up the water pot, and he would drink the water from the pot. And he would say, "No, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is not for you, this is dirty." Because he would use his water pot for washing, for cleaning, for drinking. It was his only possession, so he kept all his water in there. And Lord Chaitanya would just tease him all the time, because he knew that this was a great soul. And he wanted to show his humility. And he would chant. He would just chant the holy names of the Lord all day. And sometimes at night he would just chant all night so loud that the neighbors around would say, "Sridhar, shut up. You're just making so much noise, we can't sleep. You're hungry, your belly's empty. Why don't you get something to eat?" And they would pick up a gourd or, they just throw it at him. "Here, eat this." And "Shut up, we can't sleep." Because materialists, they like to sleep. But he was just in ecstasy, just chanting the holy names of the Lord. They had nothing. So here, you have two personalities that were both great disciples or were followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One had extreme opulence, and one had extreme poverty, but both were very great devotees of the Lord. So what is the point? The point is, it's not how much you have, it's what is the quality of your devotion. The Lord sees that if you're attached to material things, and those material things are keeping you from surrendering in devotional service, then Krishna will take it away as a favor. But once you surrender, he gives them all back to you, and more. You get more than even what you started with in the first place. Because he says, "Oh, that devotee is surrendering, they're using the things that I give for devotional service, let me give more. They're using their money, I'll give them more money. They're using their time, I'll give them more time. They're using their intelligence, I give them more intelligence." So Krishna is like that. But in the beginning, because generally when we come to devotional service, we're attached to material things. When we're trying to be attached to Krishna, but we still think that our material things can give us satisfaction and happiness. Yeah, in relationship to what we need, we have beyond what we need. And most of us usually have more than what we need. That's the way of the world today, yes. Especially in such opulent countries as Switzerland, such a highly developed materialistic country, that there is so much material opulence here. So, Krishna is very kind. He takes away everything. That's why he's called Hari. But again, what was he doing to Bali? Bali was a great devotee. Bali was a great devotee. His father was Virochana, and Virochana's father was Prahlad Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj came from the family of Prahlad Maharaj. He was the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Although he was a demon, still he was a great devotee. You don't see that nowadays. You're either a demon or a devotee. It's like that in between. But the demons had culture. Although they were attached to material things, still they had some inclination towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, depending, different kinds of demons. But Bali was very special. He was a grandson of one of the greatest of all devotees, Sri Prahlad Maharaj. So the Lord wanted to show his special mercy to him. So he asked him, just give me 3 steps of land. Bali said, you're so small. What are you going to do with 3 steps? He said, this is what we were discussing the other day. The Lord was explaining that one who is satisfied with what they need, they're satisfied. And one who cannot control their mind and senses, even if you give them the whole world, they're not satisfied. So satisfaction comes, as we explained, not by what you have or what you don't have. It's by what is your quality of your devotion. So one can have a lot or a little. It doesn't matter. One's heart has to be connected to the Supreme Personality. Then Krishna will give or not give. But that doesn't matter anymore. Because the real wealth is bhakti. And Krishna will give material things just to allow the devotee to engage in the devotional service. But the devotee doesn't want him. He's happy with his devotional service. There are different kinds of devotees. Some devotees completely avoid material opulence because of their mood of renunciation. And others will take what Krishna gives, and even more, and use it to spread Krishna consciousness, like Prabhupada. Prabhupada took so much from Krishna, but Krishna gave it to him. Prabhupada gave up everything. Prabhupada was destined by the astrologers to be one of the wealthiest men in India. He knew it too. And he was a successful businessman. He actually invented certain medicines that had never been marketed before. Prabhupada was on his way to such material fame and wealth. But Krishna diverted all that and brought him to Krishna consciousness. So everything, his family, his wealth, his position, everything. And then at one point, Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, when everything had been taken away. He was reflecting over his last life, or his previous life, how my friends, my family members, just a list of names, that's all. Just a list of names. I think that Krishna has taken everything away from me. He has left me with nothing. But I'm happy. I'm happy. So, but don't worry, don't get so nervous. You don't have to get so nervous. As we develop our relationship with Krishna in devotional service, Krishna will gradually do what is required for that devotee. If you're attached to anything material that is causing one to become less surrendered in our devotional service, Krishna will take it away. If you're sincere. If you say, no, Krishna, don't take it away. I really want it. I want you, but I really want this. Krishna says, all right, let me try and take it away. Somehow that devotee doesn't surrender to Krishna. Krishna says, okay, keep it, but you can't get me fully. So we want Krishna. We don't want these material things. But we can use the material things in the service of the Lord. Here, Sukracharya, he's considered to be very intelligent. He can see that this personality, who's in the form of a little tiny dwarf Brahmin, is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bali didn't recognize the Lord at first. Bali was thinking, he's just a beautiful Brahmin boy. I've never seen such a personality come into my assembly. Therefore, I should offer him everything, or as much as I can offer him. But Sukracharya was really nervous, because Sukracharya was a paid guru. He was getting his pay also from Bali. He was being maintained by Bali. And he was thinking, you know, if the Lord takes everything away, what about me? I'm going to be on the unemployment line. So he was quite shocked. And then these verses, he goes on. He really condemns, as you go on, you'll see, he really condemns Bali. But Bali is fixed in his promise, because he made the promise. And he's dedicated to his promise. There's one point here. To confirm his promise, Bali took up his water pot, because there's a little bit of a ceremony where you take water and you place it on the sacrificial fire or something. You do some kind of ritual with the water pot, which consummates the promise. That means once that's done, one cannot change. So he did that. So it's explained that in order to stop Bali from doing that, Sukracharya transformed himself in the form of a fly to block the water from coming out of the pot. But what happened was, it's described that somebody, Bali, I think, or the Lord actually took a straw and pierced the fly and caused the fly to become blind in one eye. This is a whole interesting part of this story, which was was the reason why that from the time Lord Chaitanya left the planet, or about 100 years after, to the time of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, there was this huge gap of about 150 to 200 years where Lord Chaitanya's movement was lost. It was related to that incident with the fly in the water pot, because I think Sukracharya cursed. And you have to ask Jayapataka Swami, he tells the story really good. It's an interesting story. I heard it many years ago. I can't remember the details. It's an interesting story. But anyway, Kali Yuga was forced to, or Lord Chaitanya's movement was forced to be lost for 150 years, 200 years during that period of Kali Yuga, from the time of Lord Chaitanya's, because of this incident of Sukracharya trying to block the water from coming out of the water pot, and then he was pierced by a straw, and he was blinded in one eye. It's an interesting story. You have to ask Jayapataka Swami about this one. Anyway, I thought I'd bring it up because this is how desperate Sukracharya was to stop this promise, because he was really concerned that he would lose everything. But for a devotee, loss and gain is all the same, because the devotee knows real wealth is bhakti. The real wealth is bhakti. We can use material things in the service of the Lord, and Krishna does, gives you that. But when you want material things and you want Krishna, then Krishna will take away the material things. But if you want only Krishna, then he'll give you back the material things. So you don't try to figure that one out. Because if you think, well, okay, I won't want any material things so I can get material things later. Jai Sisi Jagannath Baladev ladies, Subhadra Sisi Gaurnitai Ki Jai. No, it's like I was with Niranjan Swami. And we were giving a joint class in America many years ago. So they approached Maharaj. They said, Maharaj, we want you to become a member of the General Body Commission, the GBC. So he was thinking, I don't want to get involved with the GBC management. So he prepared a whole list of reasons why he shouldn't go on the GBC. So when they had the meeting and discussed it with him, he presented all the reasons why he's not both qualified and doesn't see it important for him to become a member of the GBC. He had all his arguments down. So they listened to his arguments at a meeting and said, Maharaj, you are perfectly qualified for the position because you don't want it. It's like that. When you don't want it, you become qualified. It's the way of the spiritual life. When you want it, that's part of disqualification. Because the only one we're supposed to want is Krishna. And every other one, it can be an interference to getting Krishna. But when Krishna sees you only want him, then he gives you so much, just so you can use it in his service to spread Krishna consciousness. And it's his way of reciprocating with his devotees. Krishna wants to see his devotees happy. Sometimes he gives it to you even when you want it, but he also warns you not to, become attached to it. So we don't have to make any endeavors for our material arrangements. They come automatically by the mercy of the Lord. Bali's intelligent. He understands. He's not showing it, but he's understanding. His personality actually is the Lord. So he took away everything from Bali, and he left him with practically nothing. Of course, you'll get to that part later. I don't want to reveal too much. I'll tell you another little story, which is interesting. Bali's sister, I think her name was Ratnavali, Ratna something. She saw Vamanadev. Oh, she was so attracted in Vatsalya Ras. Such a beautiful little boy. Motherly affection just poured from her heart. But then, when she saw what the Lord did, took everything away from her brother, she became angry with the Lord. Really angry. So she was forced to take birth later as Putana witch. It was Bali's sister who became Putana witch because she had motherly affection for the Lord, but at the same time anger. And that was because of that pastime with her brother. So be careful. We have to keep the mood pure. It's a mixed mood of love and anger. Okay, so this is an interesting pastime. So Prabhupada said, if a sincere devotee wants Krishna above everything, but at the same time is attached to material possessions which hinder his advancement in Krishna consciousness, by tactics the Lord takes away all his possessions. Any questions? Yes?
Daily life, so I experience that sometimes this desire comes for sense gratification, like urge also.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I use my intelligence and pray, so the problem, but still the mind is functioning like this and intelligent like that. So two ways, so.
Yeah, it's like a war.
Yeah. So,
Who's going to win?
but if it's enough, just bring intelligence inside and pray to Krishna for help? Or
well, you have to bring your intelligence in, because the mind will not always function according to your interest. Your intelligence will. You have to purify your intelligence by using your, connecting your intelligence with the absolute truth. Intelligence, if that's impure, also will allow the mind to win. So intelligence has to be purified by becoming fixed in the instructions of the spiritual master. Becoming fixed in the instructions of Scripture. And then with your strength of intelligence, try to defeat the mind. But it may not always be that easy, depending on how powerful the attachment is. At least don't act on the attachment. Sometimes we become, how we say, somewhat distraught by that struggle because the attachment is so strong. But stay in devotional service, purify the heart by chanting. Through the process of Harinam Kirtan, we can purify these desires and eventually become free from them. But it depends on what stage we are. The more the heart is covered, the more that we have material desires, the harder it is when that struggle comes. And the mind will also rationalize that this is okay. And they'll try to defeat the intelligence. Sometimes they'll say, you know, you're a nice devotee, but you're just too strict. Why don't you just relax a little bit here, have a break. You know, just a little bit of sense gratification. It's not going to hurt you. You're not going to fall down. Don't worry about it. It's just all right. Mind. And then you do it, and the mind will say, that's not, see, I told you it wasn't so bad. And then it'll go up again. The mind will do the same thing again. And then pretty soon you're out, in left field. Keeps doing it one after another. It gradually pulls you away. For a serious devotee, the mind is tricky. It just takes you away one step at a time, 1 inch at a time. For materialists, it just captures them completely. Because if Maya just comes full force onto a devotee, the devotee will say, oh, that's Maya. Backs away. But Maya comes in more subtle little increments. It's just to kind of slowly, and pretty soon, where's Krishna? He was here, but he's gone now. So she gradually, takes you away. So it's better to remain strict and not give in. And that way, after some time, then you can become, when Maya does attack, it becomes easy to say no. So we also can get, and we should get help from other devotees when we get in these struggles. Sometimes we're not equipped enough to deal with these. We may not even see how Maya is working, or how our mind is tricking us. So that's why we discuss this with devotees, to help reveal our mind and get some advice or some encouragement in our struggle. It's necessary. But keep fighting. Every battle you win, the next battle is easier. Every one you lose, the next one is harder. It's good to keep winning, because then you keep moving forward. When you lose, you have to pick up and kind of like try to win that battle again. Any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
I was wondering, who is more advanced, the devotee who is in, like Pundarik Vijayamuni, who has all this opulence, but still is detached from everything, or the poor devotee who has nothing and is also devotee? Well,
advancement is measured by one's devotion. not so much by one's external lifestyle. But Lord Chaitanya taught renunciation. Mahaprabhu Bhaktivinaya Vairagya Pradhan. And the devotees of Lord Chaitanya are very much detached from material things. It's like when Lord Chaitanya would travel, he would refuse, or he would forbid his devotees to carry any money with them. So wherever we need, Krishna will provide it. Now, you have that. So, basically Lord Chaitanya's teaching is renunciation, to become free from these things so we can focus more and more on devotional service. But one should live according to one's needs, that's it. Well, the needs of a brahmachari or a sannyasi may not be the same, and is not the same as the needs of a grihastha. But then even in with grihastha life, one has to live according to their needs and not beyond. So if you're honest, if one is honest, and they're trying to live according to their needs, that is the best. Now in comparing the opulent devotee with the more simple devotee, I don't think the Lord makes that distinction. He sees the devotion and not so much the external feature. But in this age, people are attached to externals. And that's why Lord Chaitanya very much preached that move of renunciation. Now Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswami, he would use, cars and mechanized things in the service of the Lord. But he was detached from it. Prabhupada also. Prabhupada was very much, he said, whatever the society provides we can use for the service of the Lord, but we're not attached to it. And Prabhupada lived very simple. Although he did accept a lot of them, he accepted nice hotel rooms and big cars from devotees provided him, nice prasad and so many things. But it's not like he wanted them. So, really, I guess your question is, devotees have different moods. Devotees have different moods. So, whatever your mood is, that's basically what you'll do in your devotional service. There are devotees of Vaikuntha and there's devotees of Vrindavan. Vrindavan devotees are more renounced. Vaikuntha devotees, they like a little bit more opulence. But in any case, whether your one is either the one or the other, it's devotion that's really the most important thing. And if one's material, arrangements are causing one to become less surrendered or less devoted, then one should deal with that in an intelligent way. The Lord Chaitanya had devotees on both sides. Most of them were quite renounced. He did have a few opulent. Srivas Thakur. Now Srivas Thakur, he was a family man. He had a big family. Huge family. Now Lord Chaitanya said, hey Srivas, you got a big family. You don't work. How do you live? How do you maintain yourself? How do you get food? He had a big family. So Srivas went, that was his answer. So Lord Chaitanya said, what does that mean? Srivas said, one day, Krishna doesn't feed me. 2 days, if he doesn't provide food. 3 days, if he doesn't provide, I drown myself in the Ganges. Lord Chaitanya roared. I don't want to roar because I might break your eardrums. Lord Chaitanya roared so much he said, Srivas! Even if the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, has to go on with a begging bowl, begging from door to door, there will always be food in your house. Because he had such faith that the Lord will provide whatever he needs. And he did. The Lord provided. So he gave everything and the Lord took care of him. So it's like that. The Lord never lets his devotees, in want, Because the Lord likes to serve his devotees. And the more the devotee serves the Lord, the more the Lord serves the devotee. And Prabhupada says, there's a competition. Who can serve better? The devotee's trying to serve the Lord's trying to serve the devotee, and the Lord always wins. He's always winning. Prabhupada used to say, what can you give with 2 hands that Krishna is holding with 10? And what can you hold in 2 hands that he's giving you with 10? But then Prabhupada went on to say, and what can you keep in 2 hands that he's taking away in 10? So the point is, Krishna likes to give things to his devotees because that's the way he reciprocates the devotee's devotion. He gives them. But he won't do it if the devotee is attached to these things because he knows it just makes them more and more distant. So we want to serve Krishna whatever Krishna gives us. If he gives us more, we can use it. Does that answer your question? Yeah. So there's both kinds of devotees. Yes?
I heard that material wealth can be the result of apparat.
The result of?
Apparat.
Apparat.
Was heißt das?
Offense.
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 Material
Offenses.
wealth can be a result of apparat.
Yes.
You have to explain that one. I don't see the connection.
Like a punishment?
Oh, by having material things too much, you're being punished. Well, it's not like an aparad. An aparad means when you just transgress religious principles and commit an offense. But too much, there are 2 deficiencies in the practice of devotional service. Too much and too little. If you have too much, even if you're not attached to it, it just somehow or other occupies your time and causes you not to spend sufficient time. And if you have too little, then you're struggling to maintain yourself and you can't surrender in devotion completely. So those 2 things are like, you can say they're kind of like disqualifications or make devotional service somewhat difficult. Too much and too little. If you have a lot, there's also the tendency that people have pride, especially in Western countries where people do have wealth, they also have pride. Bhagavatam explains that the greatest pride comes from the pride of wealth. More than the pride of beauty, more than the pride of fame, more than the pride of learning. The pride of wealth is the greatest of all pride. That was brought out in the story of Nala Kuvera Manigriva. So yeah, too much causes one to become absorbed in these activities connected with that wealth, and at the same time can cause this type of pride. Which both of those are disqualifications, or make it difficult. And then on the other side, also, too little. If you're hungry or you're sick, you can't maintain your body, and you're not being able to surrender enough. You can't focus on surrender in devotional service. So either way, so it's what we want is, what we can use nicely in devotional service. So take inventory, go to your closets and give things away. If you haven't used it in 2 years, you don't need it. And we have, just give things away. It's a nice program. Yes, Prabhu.
What was the verse which put Pundrik into ecstasy?
Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigyasame vedasada sabi lebe kamvai stahulam. It's from the 3rd canto, 2nd chapter, verse number 21 or 20. 22, maybe. Third canto. Aho, A-H-O. You can look up in the back of the, you usually have the index of the verses. Aho Baki Yam Kamasta Kutam. Kutam means poison. Third canto, second chapter, something.
Yam.
What is it?
23.
3-2-23?
Yeah.
3-2-23. Read it. Yeah. If you like, you can read it.
Aho Bhaktiyam Starakara Kutam Jagam Sayapaya Api Asadi Nivedatim Chitam Tatoyam Kamba Dayalum Sharanam
Saram Yam.
Sharanam Rajima.
Rajime.
German.
German.
Ach, wie soll ich bei jemandem Zuflucht suchen, der barmherzig ist, als der eine Hexe, Putana, die Stellung seiner Mutter gewährte, obwohl sie ungläubig war und ihn tödliches Gift aus ihrer Brust saugen ließ.
Okay? Did everybody get that? Everybody except me, I think. Okay, 3-2-23?
Yes.
Yeah, so the purport is also quite interesting. Yes?
I heard that the Lord gave a promise to Prahlad that his family and his generations will be always protected. So therefore Balaram had to kill Venukasura. So how is it that Krishna could kill Putana? Because she was also related to the family.
Good question. It says that, Balaram had killed Venukasura, which was connected to, that was his son, right? Denuk. Some connecting with Bali. Yeah, you stumped me. That's a good question. Yeah, Krishna promised that he would not harm any of the descendants of Bali Maharaj. She came to him as a mother. He treated her actually like a mother. He did. He didn't see her so much as being, of course he knew she was a demon, but he didn't feel any threat from her. He just saw her as a mother. Because she came to offer her breast milk, and Krishna accepted it like a baby. But he also destroyed her in the same way. Good question. That's a good question. I can't answer that question. Anybody know the answer? You have to discuss this one.
You just gave the answer.
Someone?
Because it wasn't a threat for Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah, but the fact that he did kill one of the family members of Bali was his sister. Now Bali was Prahlad, I guess, yeah, so in some way she's related to Prahlad Maharaj, right? Yeah. I surrender. We have to discuss this one with the acharyas. See what they have to say. I'll remember this question. I will get back with you. I can answer this one's an interesting question. Any easier questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Narottam Das Thakur have composed a verse, a song, and then he described how with these 5 enemies of 6, it's possible to use in Krishna consciousness. Krishna's service.
The one you can't use. Yeah. 5 you can use, 1 you can't.
Yes, yes. And in this song he described how you can use krodha, anger, against the enemy of the devotees of the Lord, or kama, to be anxious or to have lust of the association of devotees to listen to Krishna Katha. But the 6th enemy, envy, he didn't mention.
Not sorry. Yeah. Prabhupada also says that. He says, envy, you have to give it up. You can't dovetail that into devotional service. Envy is the cause of why it causes the living entity to fall to the material world. And then envy keeps us in the material world because we're competing with others. This competition spirit is a symptom of envy. Envy means, envy means I'm not happy with what Krishna's given me. I don't like what you have, or I want what you have, or something. So Prabhupada said one has to give up this one. He said, Matsarya, you cannot. And that one has to be given up. Envy. Just 1 second. And so, how to give up envy? It's become the humble servant of the Vaishnavas. And serve the Lord, in humility. Give up this desire to attain material things. Satisfaction helps to destroy envy. To be satisfied, whatever Krishna gives you. Okay. He takes it away. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the Lord. To be satisfied. That's all. But another devotee is making advancement, you should think, wonderful. We should feel happy when we see other Vaishnavas making advancement, or getting the mercy, or getting benefits. That's Vaishnava. If you feel unhappy when you see that, that means you're envious. So, he's happy to see others advance in Krishna consciousness. Yes?
Can be related envy in Tama and envy in Sattva? In cases in Tama, I suffer when someone had some privilege. And in Sattva, I'm happy for him, but I too would like to serve the Lord the same way he is.
Yeah, Prabhupada talks about that. And again, in ignorance, right, we're feeling unhappy or suffering inside the mind and in the body. But Prabhupada said when one sees, oh, that devotee is doing such nice service and getting the mercy of the Lord, I should also be like that. That's not envy. That's not envy in sattva. That's actually a feature of transcendental activities, that one wants to serve Krishna nicely. Oh, that devotee is serving so nicely, let me also serve nicely. We become inspired by others' success, and we want to also become successful in that way. But the focus is to please Krishna, to please the Lord, to please the spiritual master. It's not like, oh, well, that person is getting all the mercy, so let me be like that so I can get the mercy too. So that might be envy in a more of a goodness state of envy, a little less miserable. Let me also, get the benefits. There's still personal motivation there. But higher than that, or purified consciousnesses, let's just try to please the Lord, that's all. So we see that in book distribution sometimes. Someone create this competitive thing in order to inspire devotees to do bigger in their books. But not just because so one can get some recognition for being big distributor, get some praise, or get some benefit from it. The idea is to please the spiritual master, to please the Lord. And then that's not envy. That's okay. Any other questions? I thought I saw one more hand somewhere. No. Okay. This person, falsely appearing as a brahmachari, is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He, who has come in this form to take away all your land, wealth, beauty, power, fame, education. After taking everything from you, He will deliver it to Indra, your enemy. Sukracharya. Now you're going to hear about Sukracharya for the next few chapters. Sukracharya is trying to save his position here. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Om.